Hey guys, Peter from Synapse here. I haven't made a video in a while, just got busy. But I think I'm gonna start vlogging a little bit over some of these cars that I'm playing with, or some of these applications, because now that people don't really care how long videos are on YouTube, might pick up little details that help you, I don't know, figure out stuff with your car, stuff you want to tune, stuff you didn't know, just little insights that might be helpful. So what do I have right now? I've got one of these Ford Mustangs, these Ecoboost cars, which is very, very cool. There are things that I like about this car a lot. I like all the functions you get. I like all the features you get. Things I don't like. I think, you know, how plasticky some of the stuff is. Like this console is some really nasty plastic. If you look up here at the map light, I don't even know what this thing is made of right here, but it looks horrible. I like this car, but I wish they would engineer out this very irritating glare on the RPM gauge that bounces up and down when you're driving. Out of the corner of your eye, you always think there's some air light or air signal going on, and it's just really, really bad. But you know, for the money you get, I mean, you get a lot of stuff out of this car. You get nice badass LCD for yourself. You get a lot of data that you didn't get before, which is also very, very cool. I mean, I haven't seen a car in a good long while that had a built-in boost gauge and even a cylinder head temp sensor, inlet air temp. And these are things that you really care about. I mean, is there a car out there that tells you what the air fuel ratio is? I don't really think so. Plus, I mean, like, it's got a G sensor in it, like a GTR does. It's got a stopwatch like a GTR does. I just wish it was hooked up to a beacon, or you had some way of hooking up like an external beacon so that when you went to the track, you wouldn't have to press the button every time you wanted to clock in a time. How often do you get a car that lets you have an air fuel ratio gauge that's actually pretty very accurate, boost vacuum gauge, cylinder head temp gauge, inlet air temp gauge? I wish it told you oil pressure, so at least you knew what to do with the kind of oil you're putting in your car. Oil temp, I mean, look at it. It's not bad, people. I guess you could gauge viscosity based on oil temp too. But you know, that inlet air temp's really high sitting around, but once you're on the freeway, thing drops by half. You know, these gauges are actually very, very cool. Let's see. That thing goes all the way to 30 PSI, so a lot of room there. Air fuel gauge. Voltage. A lot of good stuff. And when you go to the track applications, let's see, track apps. This is very cool. You got your accelerometer. It's built in. You got an acceleration timer. Brake performance, I don't even know what this is going to tell you. Oh, I guess it'll measure how you do under heavy braking. Lap timer. You know, so you can save different tracks on here. I wish you could just stick it on a beacon though, so that the beacon would do all the work for you. That is something that I wish you could do. I'm pretty happy with this thing in general. I am going to stick one of our blow-off valves on it and put some other products on here, and you know, see if we can make more power or get some better performance or efficiency out of it without going too crazy. But in general, I think it's a pretty good car. The seating position's nice. You know, I mean, it doesn't feel like an exotic when you're sitting in it, but for the money, do you have a lot to complain about? Not really. And I like the fact that there's a track feature on here that will let you sit there and literally turn off traction control without having to do a million different things just to get that done. I mean, on an FRS, to turn off traction control completely, it's an act of God, and if you don't get it right the first time, you're kind of fucked, you know? So, and the minute you turn the car off, all the work you did just went down the shitter. So it'd be nice to give people the option, you know, to be able to at least be able to trust them to be adults and not kill themselves or hurt themselves, and be able to sit there and turn off traction control to do whatever they wanted to, do donuts or, you know, whatever it might be. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of it. We'll see. I'm gonna play with this thing a little bit here. It's a rainy day in San Diego. I don't know if you can see that through the windshield. It's a rainy day, and I'm gonna drive around here and see if we can find a lot to do some shitty spinnies around, and see how it responds. Maybe we'll get lucky and find a good spot.